How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.
this the end? There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? Oh, I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final genocide. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the stone. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the stone. This is the final sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be out you.
And lastly, we ask that there be no recording or streaming of today's sessions from the floor. And any disruptive behavior in today's session will result in being removed from the call.
We please ask that there will be no recording or streaming of today's sessions from the floor. Any disruptive behavior today could result in being removed from the call. So, just be a nice person. So with the little housekeeping things out of the way, let's jump right in.
Again, we ask no recording or streaming of today's session.
We ask that there be no recording or streaming of today's session from the floor. Any disruptive behavior in today's session will result in being removed from the call.
Who the fuck is Karlyn? She's just some sweet lady. She's like in a knitting. She does like a knitting stream. She's like a knitting YouTuber. She does knitting.
So I have to test. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Listen, I'm home. I got my computer set up. My microphone is not working. I have my husband's headset on, and I'm using the microphone on my laptop, and that's just gonna have to be good enough. All right, just gonna have to be fucking good enough. It's just, like I can only do so many things at once. I think one of my cables went out for the microphone, and so I'll have to deal with that problem on a different day, because it's not happening today. It is not happening. It is not happening. Whatever. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm not even wearing makeup. I got up at the crack of dawn today to get my ass to the airport to fly from New York back to Boston and then drive from Boston to home. And you might say, Karlyn, what the fuck are you doing in New Hampshire if this is live coverage of the New York Anarchist Book Fair? Well, turns out the New York Anarchist Book Fair is streaming. The New York Anarchist Book Fair was live in person yesterday, but it is streaming today. And so I thought, I don't have to be in New York in order to stream something on the internet. I can just come home and stream something on the internet. And it's probably much better to stream on the internet from home anyway, because I get to be in the comfort of my own home and you guys get to join me. So welcome to a surprise coverage stream of the New York Anarchist Book Fair. Now, the New York Anarchist Book Fair today has actually been streaming for a while, but don't worry, communists, don't worry. We recorded you before I got home. So just in case the communists decide to delete their live stream, we have it recorded. Don't worry. Everyone calm down. And I think we're actually going to watch the first part of this live stream because basically this is a whole 2-day affair, man. This is a whole day affair. So if you want to see the schedule of events from the New York Anarchist Book Fair yesterday, I only got to go to a couple of these, but there were a ton of events at the New York Anarchist Book Fair. And and many of these are not recorded except the ones that maybe I recorded. And that's a whole other story. That's a whole other story. But that was yesterday's workshop. Today's are virtual workshops. And there is a whole mishmash, a whole panoply of I don't understand no. What are you talking about? Recording. Oh yeah, no, yeah, we don't understand the word no, communists. Listen, man, communists would have no problem recording me. Communists would have no problem getting me fired from my job if they could get me fired from my job. But, I work for myself, so ain't no communists getting me fired from anything. So, whatever. They can have all the feelings they want about being recorded on us. Like, fuck that. No, we aren't going to stop. No. Listen, man, I've had a big week. It's been a big week. On last weekend, we actually covered the Revolutionary Socialism Conference live. And, on that coverage, why am I frozen? On that coverage of the Revolutionary Socialism Conference, it's crazy to think that this has been in a week, right? In the coverage of the Revolutionary Socialism Conference, I got a Texas State University professor on video talking about overthrowing the government. And without the help of, literally anyone, can we talk about this for a second? I have no help from anyone. Because the influencers hate me, because the influencers know that I'm going to call them on their bullshit every single time they lie. And so all influencers hate me, and that's okay. I don't mind being hated by influencers. Influencers are the worst people in the world. And without any help, I had no help from anyone. I had no help from Republican politicians. I had no help from Republican influencers, conservative influencers, and so-called anti-communist influencers. I literally had no help from anyone. No help, no support. Harmeet Dillon told me that she cared more about the fact that I used capital letters to inform her that a communist was trying to overthrow the government than she did in actually caring about the communist overthrowing the government. And with zero fucking help from anyone, I still got that communist professor fired. So you're all welcome. You're all welcome. This is covered everywhere. The New York Post did a whole thing. Look at this screenshot of me. Why is my computer behaving like, don't do this to me, computer? It's because my computer updated yesterday. It's been traveling. My computer's being very finicky right now. Look at that screenshot of me in the New York Post. You wanna know why? Because I did that shit. I did that. I got the communist professor fired from Texas State University. And by the way, there are so many other clips from the Revolutionary Socialism Conference that I haven't released yet. I have just begun releasing clips from the Revolutionary Socialism Conference because it's been a big week, okay? Because I had to do the Revolutionary Socialism Conference, and then I got the communist professor. I was calling, you guys don't even know how many fucking Republican politicians I called. I was calling everyone, going, are you guys going to do anything about this? Are you guys going to do anything about this? I followed up with Ted Cruz's office like 3 times. Of course, Ted Cruz literally formed a committee to have a discussion about whether or not they wanted to do anything about this. Of course, they didn't do shit. I still won anyway. I still got him fired. I exposed the Assistant Attorney General of the United States for being an inauthentic shill. And can we just talk about the fact that on September 9th, literally, on September 9th, Harmeet Dillon says to me, hang on, I'll even show you the fucking tweet. Harmeet Dillon is the Assistant Attorney General of the United States. It is Harmeet Dillon's job to get DEI out of universities. Let me just show you. Let me just like remind everyone. Okay, I've tweeted a lot today. Oh fuck, I've tweeted a lot. Maybe I won't be showing you because I've tweeted a lot today. Maybe I won't be showing you. Here it is. On September 9th, Harmeet Dillon, Assistant Attorney... People ask me all the time. They're like, Karlyn, do you ever send your stuff to the government? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I sent that Texas State College professor thing to the government. In fact, I sent that Texas State College professor thing to the Assistant Attorney General of the United States. And do you know what the Assistant Attorney General of the United States told me on September 9th? That she was more concerned about capital letters than she was about communists on college campuses, and Harmeet Dillon didn't really think it was her job to do anything about communists on college campuses. And then on September 10th, and I said at the time, I said when I was dragging Harmeet through the mud over this stupid, boneheaded fucking mistake, I said, Harmeet, someday, some communist that I track is going to commit an act of violence, and when they do, I'm going to make sure everyone fucking knows that I told you guys that this was going to be a problem, and none of you fucking listened. I said that on September 9th. On September 10th, a communist on a college campus assassinated Charlie Kirk. Now, it wasn't a communist I was tracking, to be very fair. I'm not even 100% sure he was a real communist, if I'm being honest about it. There's a lot of weird stuff going around with that. We'll talk about that another day. But let's just say he's probably like on the left. Like, I think that's pretty assured. I'm just not sure if he's actually a revolutionary. It's a different topic for another day. Anyway, on September 9th, I'm telling the Assistant Attorney General of the United States, you got to do something about communists on college campuses. And she's going, how dare you use all capital letters? I don't find it very persuasive. You can see the screenshots. They're on my Twitter. The very next day, a communist on a college campus assassinates Charlie Kirk. Is everyone paying attention yet? And I was the only one to come out and say, I don't think this is a queer Marxist. I don't think this is a queer Marxist. I don't think this is a queer Marxist. And now conservatives are absolutely beclowning themselves. No offense, conservatives, but you are absolutely beclowning yourself when you say someone knowing someone that was trans is the same as being trans. No, it's not. It's not remotely the same thing. And I'm still not convinced that either of these kids were involved in queer ideology. I'm not convinced at all. And if they were, I would be the first one shouting it from the rooftops. I'm literally writing 2 books right now about queer Marxism. You think I don't want to shout from the rooftops when queer Marxists are violent? I've been shouting from the rooftops that queer Marxists are violent for like years. Literally years. So I'm still not convinced of it. And I was the first one to correctly call that out. And conservatives were running on saying, he's trans, he's trans, he's trans. No, he's not. And now they're saying, oh, he's not trans, but his boyfriend is, or whatever the fuck is going on. And I'm like, you know, assholes, do you know why trans people do this stuff? They're taking hormones. If a person is not trans, it doesn't actually matter if they're fucking someone that's trans, because they're still not taking the fucking hormones. It's the hormones that make them do it. So I was right about that. I was absolutely right. I got dragged over the coals, and I turned out to be right about that. Andy No, totally exposed as a fucking fraud. Like, I don't believe a fucking word that comes out of Andy No's mouth anymore. And it really does burn me to say that. I have respected a lot of Andy No's work, But Andy No is fucking lying all over the place, doesn't even care. Andy No unfollowed me on Twitter because I called him out for the lies, and I don't give a fuck. So this week, I got the Texas State University communist professor fired. I exposed Harmeet Dillon for caring more about capital letters than she does about communists on college campuses. I correctly assessed the situation about the Charlie Kirk assassination when no one else did that. And I went to fucking New York to go undercover with communists for several days, where I had been for several days, and now I'm home. And I've already, I collected a metric ton of propaganda, and then I read Conservatives the Riot Act on Twitter because they're being ridiculous. And here we are. And here we are. And here we are. And now we're going to stream some New York Anarchist Bookfair so you guys can all see what goes on inside these events. You don't have to take my word for any of it. I was right. Yeah, I was. Yup. The new narrative they're trying to push now is that he's a gay furry because someone allegedly found a Steam page with a gay fur. It doesn't even fucking... Gay furry has nothing to do with fucking queer ideology. It has nothing to do with it. And my microphone doesn't work, and my normal headphones don't work, and you know what? We're still here. We're still here. Yeah, it was a productive week. It's a productive week. It was a productive week. As a reminder, I'm like literally the only one doing this shit on the internet. As a reminder, you wouldn't know about half the stuff related to the far left if it weren't for me. As a reminder, I'm the only one going undercover at these events and then reporting back to you guys and secretly recording them and giving that information directly to you, and then going and getting massive tons of their propaganda and breaking it down and explaining it to you. Can I just get some fucking credit? I don't get no respect. We're watching a Rodney Dangerfield movie tonight in my supporter Discord. I don't get no fucking respect. Nothing. I got Andy No reading about me, unfollowing me. Harmeet Dillon's more concerned about capital letters. No one's paying attention to the real far left except me. And us. And people in my community. And so here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Anyway, guys, if you want to support the work I'm doing and keep me in business, because unlike the paid shills on the internet, I am 100% funded by you. Head over to my Substack. That is Karlyn, Karlyn, .substack.com. If you are new to my work and you're like, you're a crazy bitch that never gave me any entry point to communism, because here's a criticism I've been hearing too. People are like, Karlyn, you don't even teach people about the left. Oh, don't I? Oh, don't I? Go to the How to Speak Socialist section on my Substack. Start here. If you're new to my work, here is a free 90-minute masterclass. Free 90-minute class you can take to get up to speed on my work. And it uses all sources from leftist training, so you don't have to take my word for it. And then when you're done the 90-minute class, you can go take the 4-hour How to Speak Socialist masterclass. It's just got more clips from more leftist trainings. I'm going to be updating these two things. And so, you know, there you go. There you go. Okay? I've been around fucking communists for several days. You gotta... Please excuse me having a persnickety attitude. I like Andy too, but you're the far best reporter I can see, and I can't wait till your books come. Yeah, I have several books I'm writing right now. I really do appreciate that, Kathleen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So, guys. The New York Anarchist Bookfair is streaming right now on the internet. They're streaming right now. I have a weird window on my desktop that's not going... This is what happens when I actually unplug my computer and bring it anywhere. Weird things start happening. Now, right now, in the New York Anarchist Book Fair, they're doing something about Colombia. They're doing some Spanish language. And you guys know I fucking hate Spanish. I fucking hate Spanish more than, like, any other language in the world. But luckily, they've already done half of their streaming today. So let's just see. We can check in on the Spanish New York Anarchist Book Fair, and we might be going back and watching some earlier snippets. Hang on, let me get the sound set up. So what we're gonna do, so there's several hours of New York Anarchist Book Fair that already happened while I was on the plane. So we can go back and watch some of that if we don't feel like watching Spanish. I'm a little unhinged right now. Well, you, average person, you've been doing the Lord's work, okay? We'll talk more about that, but I'm not blowing your cover right now. What happened to Pear? I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so let's see. Let's see what's going on in the New York Anarchist Book Fair right now. And if you don't like what's what they're playing, we can go back and watch.
Qual é a estratégia?
Oh God!
Não, da articulação, da estratégia.
No, I'm not watching Spanish. No, sorry, no. I'm not watching fucking Spanish. Like, fuck you, assholes. No, I am not watching fucking Spanish. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go back and watch the earlier morning episode. We're gonna go back and watch it from the beginning. Now, listen, the sessions go into the non-Spanish realm. Actually, let me show you this. Here are the upcoming sessions. Okay, so right now we're what? We're 2:20 to 2. We're doing some fucking Spanish thing. I don't know what's going on there. Coming up, something about collective care rooted in Black history. Okay, that could be interesting. Where it's gonna start getting really interesting is when we get into Revolution Now, Anarchism, Food Sovereignty, and Degrowth. This is the one I want. Everything for everyone. Are we going to get a special guest appearance from Emmy O'Brien? Is that what's about to happen? Are we going to get a special guest appearance from Emmy O'Brien? A surprise appearance? Emmy O'Brien does, if you don't know who Emmy O'Brien is, you're in for a treat if we really do get a special appearance. And then Anarchism and Struggle in Brazil, whatever. I don't really care that much about that one. But there's a lot of good anarchism going on today, and there's been some good anarchism already. The opening ceremony. Actually, I might know who this is. Oh, shit! This Ben guy is in the Denver Communists, right? This Ben guy is in the Denver Communists. I'm pretty sure I was sitting next to him at an event yesterday. We know Ben from the I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. Ben is in the Denver Communists. I'm almost positive I was sitting right next to him at an anti-ICE event yesterday. I'm almost positive. If he's in New York, then I was sitting next to him at an anti-ICE event yesterday. That's fucking... And I knew I recognized him too. As soon as he walked over, I was like, where the fuck do I know you from? That's actually crazy, if that's the same guy. Anyway, I know who this is. Cities for a Single Planet, that'll be interesting. World War III, a Palestine workshop, that'll be interesting. So let's just jump right into the original stream. They're talking Spanish on the other stream, fine. I was sitting next to this guy at an event yesterday. I'm not sure if it's the same guy, but let's see. So welcome to Socialism. If this is your first time watching Socialism with me, you are in for a treat. Let's see what's going on today at the New York Anarchist Book Fair, and we're just doing it live, guys. And let me know if you have questions in the chat. And yeah, let's get this party started.
Come on, please. Gustavo, avisa aí, meu lindo.
No Spanish. No Spanish, you fuckers. No. No Spanish.
We're live. We can start.
We can start? Okay. Welcome to the 19...
Okay, that was definitely not the guy I was sitting next to yesterday. False alarm. False alarm. Completely false alarm.
New York City Anarchist Book Fair. Today we do the virtual workshops. Yesterday was in person. Was a bunch of people. Was so beautiful. The energy was alive.
Yeah,
and we have all the workshops. Was incredible too. I hope also people be in the book fair in person because was incredible yesterday. And today we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 workshops. No, it was intense, but it was great. People from many places in the world. Italy, Colombia, Brooklyn, Switzerland, Colorado, and...
Hang on, I can answer some questions. Do people talk to me at these events? Or yeah. Yeah, I had whole conversations. I had whole conversations with some people. Yeah, I mean, listen, I speak fluent socialist. I know how to talk to these people. I know what they believe. I've been watching these people for 5 years, so it's not a problem for me to have a conversation with them. And it's actually kind of funny when I do have a conversation with them because like they don't know that I'm not one of them, but I speak their language so fluently. Like in my head, I'm like laughing out loud in the middle of the conversation, but they don't know that. They don't know that. But yes.
São Francisco, Connect, Brazil, many places. Know that we try our articulation the best we can. And we would like now to talk about our collaborators like TV Floresta in Brazil and Radical Guide in California. Thank you so much for your collaborations. Thank you so much for this project today, the workshop, virtual workshop at the 19 New York City Anarchist Book Fair. Thank you.
Seriously.
We are here with M and Jim from Autonomedia. Yeah. And Jim from Pitt. Hi, Jason.
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for having me. This is great to hear. Thanks for having me here. Let me pay my respect. I know there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes, just so much happening. Y'all pulled together such great panels. Radical Guide is proud to be a part of this. So let me give a moment just to kind of give a background of who.
Radical Guide, for people who don't know, this is actually an interesting thing for you to look up. Radical Guide is a massive directory of far-left groups all over the country. So if you want to know if there's a far-left group near you, go to radical-guide.com, I believe, and they will tell you.
The Radical Guide is and why we're here to hold this space. So Radical Guide works to connect, amplify, and unite liberation movements by preserving their histories, amplifying their present struggles, and fostering transformative spaces for education, dialogue, and collective action.
Yeah, transformative
and this
spaces.
Event represents that. It's people from all over the world who are looking at what is needed to create a better world, and so happy to be here. So thank you, New York City Anarchist Book Fair, for having us. Thank you, Pitt, for hosting this space. It's an honor to be a part of this. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much. Hi, Gur. Where are you, Gustavo? From Brazil. TV Floresta now.
Hello. You guys listening to me?
Yes.
Right?
Oui.
I'm here representing the Floresta TV, which is a media collective created to give voice especially to the indigenous people from Brazil. So we've been around since 2021, 2022, and been working together with the New York City Anarchist Book Fair. I think it's been 3 years already, 3 to 4 years. So it's always a pleasure to be here and an honor also. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoy, and it's a very good place to be here right now.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for this collaboration. Now we have a Submedia film, no 10 minutes, because Bimoreia is in Colorado. This time is too early for him. And then we change, we switch. Here will be 1 p.m.
Listen. If you're going to watch Socialism with me, you just have to get used to the fact that they suck at sound and they suck at technology, and we have to suffer through it, all right?
Today, and virtually talk about his new book, and now we have the film from Submedia. Thank you so much. Let's see this amazing film.
Yeah, let's watch this amazing film.
The golden age of America has only just begun.
Oh no! Oh no! I'll put the chat on the screen. Oh no! Anarchist, no!
Despite the insistence that Trump's return to office would be a repeat of the incompetent first term, even while Trump and his allies told us exactly what they planned to do. Despite the liberal assurance that Trump could not possibly win, while ignoring the fact that Israel's genocide on Gaza was driving potential voters away. Despite people's belief that the institutions of the American state are strong enough to right themselves after an attack from the inside, which can only be an anomaly, Trump took power by a narrow margin and began dismantling the constitutional state.
The constitutional
Following Steve
state.
Bannon's strategy to flood the zone using the blueprints of Project 2025, his attack has taken the form of an unceasing series of executive orders and sacking of government officials, with the sheer number of both driving many people into inactive despair. But this attack has also led many commentators to insist on the fact that not all of these orders will become actual policy or law, that the policies will be defeated in court, and that the storied institutions of the US state can withstand this assault. However, these commentators did not keep in mind the fact that the law and the Constitution are imaginary, only effective to the extent they are enforced and obeyed.
Oh my god.
With the removal of officials and the anticipatory rush of people to obey his racist...
Hang on. I need to explain this to new people. Socialists believe that the Constitution and the United States government are grounded in capitalism. That's why they hate the United States. They believe the United States was built on capitalism. You cannot abolish capitalism without abolishing the United States. You cannot abolish capitalism without abolishing the Constitution. So every time, capitalism, for people who might be new, capitalism is not an economic model to socialists. Capitalism is a cultural model. The cultural model of capitalism is actually more important than the economic model of capitalism. And so when they're talking about capitalism, they're not just talking about going into the store and buying stuff. They're not talking about seizing the means of production and taking over the factories. They are talking about abolishing the United States government. You really have got to understand this. So when they say the capitalist state, they mean the United States. The capitalist constitution, the Constitution of the United States. Their number one goal is always and forever to abolish capitalism. That includes the Constitution.
Orders and sacking of government officials, with the sheer number of both driving many people into inactive despair. But this attack has also led many commentators to insist on the fact that not all of these orders will become actual policy or law, that the policies will be defeated in court, and that the storied institutions of the US state can withstand this assault. However, these commentators did not keep in mind the fact that the law and the Constitution are imaginary, only effective to the extent they are enforced and obeyed. With the removal of officials and the anticipatory rush of people to obey his racist, misogynist, anti-trans, and eviscerating economic plans even before they become official policy, his orders now become fact. There is still the potential obstacle of incompetence.
Oh, well, here's the thing, Catherine, here's the thing. If you believe these people are well-funded through George Soros or USAID or the CCP, you have been lied to. With as much money as they get from dark money, no they don't. No they don't. I think they have better sound and video. I will be taking your classes. Well, there's not a book list yet. I'm working on a book for this, but what you really need to understand, these people are not funded by George Soros. These people are not funded by USAID. These people are not funded by the CCP. These people are funded by mutual aid. The vast majority of conservative retards that talk about how the left is funded have no idea how the left is funded. And so these are people that do not have a lot of money. They're not effective because they have a lot of money. They're effective because they are so fucking motivated to do what... This is personal motivation. This is part of their identity. This is part of who they are. So... yeah, well, that's because the microphone isn't set up to work and I'm going through my computer, so everyone's just gonna have to fucking manage. Do you understand? Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Guys, my microphone's not working. It's not connecting to the computer for some reason. I'm going through the